Okay, picture this. You step off a boat onto a gorgeous beach, and before your feet even touch the sand, a guy you've never met puts an arrow straight through you. No warning, no questions. And here's the kicker, he's completely within his rights to do it. That's a real island. It's number one on this list, and we're gonna get there, I promise. But first, I dug up 10 places on this planet that you are flat out not allowed to visit. Some of them will straight up kill you. Some of them are hiding stuff you will never get to see. Real quick, if you're into the kind of stuff that sounds totally made up but is 100% real, you're in the right place. This is Untold 10. Smash that subscribe button so you don't miss the next one. Alright, let's get into it. Number 10, the Coca-Cola Vault. So in downtown Atlanta, there's a museum, and built right into the wall is this giant steel vault. Inside, one piece of paper. That's it. And on that paper is the original recipe for Coke. The actual formula, they say only a couple of people alive even know the whole thing, and you can walk right up to it, take a selfie, stand a few feet away, but that door is not opening. Not for you, not for reporters, not for anybody. The most famous drink on earth, and nobody gets to see how it's made. Kind of wild when you think about it. Number 9. The Lascaux Caves in France. Back in 1940, a few teenagers were chasing their dog, and the dog vanished down a hole. So they climb in after it, and what they find is insane. A whole cave covered in paintings. Bulls, horses, deer, over 600 of them. And get this, they're around 17,000 years old. People started calling it the Sistine Chapel of the Stone Age. So of course tourists came pouring in, and that was the problem. All that breathing, all that body heat, all that moisture started growing mold on the walls, and the mold started eating the art. So in 1963, France just shut the whole thing down. Today you can only visit a fake one they built right next door. The real cave is locked up tight. Number 8. Surtsey Island, Iceland. Now, most islands are millions of years old, right? This one is younger than your grandma. In 1963, a volcano went off underwater near Iceland, and over a few years it literally pushed a brand new island up out of the ocean. And scientists were like, hold on, this is a totally clean slate, we can actually watch how life shows up on bare rock from day one. So they locked it down. Even today, only a tiny handful of researchers are allowed to set foot on it. And here's the part that gets me, they're not even allowed to bring an apple. One stray seed could ruin the whole experiment. So yeah, no snacks. Number 7, the Svalbard Global Seed Vault. So way up near the North Pole, buried inside a frozen mountain, behind steel doors and hundreds of feet of solid rock, there's basically a backup plan for the human race. They literally call it the Doomsday Vault. Inside, it's kept at 18 below zero, and there are over 1 million seed samples from almost every country on the planet. And the idea is kind of dark, honestly. If a war or a disease or some disaster ever wipes out our crops, these seeds could restart farming everywhere. The doors only open a few times a year. The public never gets in. You can stand out there in the snow and stare at the door. That's as close as you're ever getting. Number 6, North Brother Island, New York. So right in the middle of the East River, basically staring at the New York skyline, there's this abandoned island nobody's allowed on. It used to have a quarantine hospital. And this is where they kept Typhoid Mary, the most infamous disease carrier in American history. They locked her up here until the day she died. After the hospital shut down, they just left the whole place to rot. Now the buildings are falling apart, totally swallowed by vines, and the entire island is a protected bird sanctuary. So it's off limits to keep the birds safe. A full-on ghost town, sitting right there in plain sight of one of the biggest cities on earth, and most New Yorkers don't even know it exists. Number 5, Niihau. They call it the Forbidden Island of Hawaii, so everybody floods to Maui and Oahu, right? Packed beaches, hotels, the whole deal. But there's one Hawaiian island almost no outsider has ever set foot on. One family bought Niihau way back in 1864. They got it from the Hawaiian king, and they made him a promise to protect it. And the way they kept that promise was by basically sealing it off from the world. Fewer than 200 people live there. No paved roads, no stores, no hotels. People still speak Hawaiian as their main language, and for over 150 years, the only way you're getting on that island is a personal invitation. Everybody else gets turned away. Number 4, Bohemian Grove, California. So tucked away in a redwood forest north of San Francisco, there's this private camp. And every summer, some of the most powerful men in the world quietly show up. We're talking presidents, billionaires, big-time CEOs. And what actually goes on in there is guarded so tightly that it's fueled conspiracy theories for decades. But the stuff we do know is already pretty strange. There's an opening ceremony in front of a giant stone owl, and no, I'm not making that up. The place is patrolled, they kick out anyone who isn't invited, and reporters are absolutely not welcome. It's one of the most secretive gatherings in the entire country. Number 3, Area 51, Nevada. For decades, the US government wouldn't even admit this place was real. It's an airbase way out in the middle of the desert, surrounded by signs that straight up say they will use deadly force, and the airspace above it, pilots aren't even allowed to fly over it. Officially, they test experimental planes out there. Unofficially, it's pretty much ground zero for every alien theory on the planet. The government finally admitted it existed back in 2013. Did that calm anybody down? Nope. You can't drive in, you can't fly over. And trust me, the closer you get, the faster security shows up. And they are not there to chat. Number 2, Snake Island, Brazil. So off the coast near Sao Paulo, there's this little island the Brazilian Navy has banned people from for about 100 years. And the reason is crawling all over the ground. The place is absolutely packed with golden lancehead vipers, a snake you can't find anywhere else on Earth, and their venom can rot your flesh and kill you in a matter of hours. Some people say there's a snake every few feet out there, there's no hospital, no rescue. If you get bitten, that's it. The only people allowed to visit are a few scientists, and even they bring a doctor along just in case. And number 1, North Sentinel Island. So out in the Bay of Bengal, there's an island about the size of Manhattan that the modern world has basically never touched. The people living there are called the Sentinelese, one of the very last uncontacted tribes left on Earth, and they've been out there completely alone for something like 60,000 years. They do not want us anywhere near them, and they make that real clear, with arrows. Now this part is actually crazy. Back in 2018, an American missionary paid some fishermen to sneak him close. He paddled to the beach, and he was killed almost the second he stepped off the boat. India made it flat out illegal to even go near the island. And it's not just to protect us, it's to protect them. Because one common cold from an outsider could wipe out the whole tribe. They've got zero immunity to our diseases. So just think about that for a second. There's an entire civilization out there, living like it's 60,000 years ago, just a few miles from boats and planes passing by every day. And not a single one of us is allowed to set foot on it. So out of all of those, which one freaked you out the most? I actually want to know, so drop it down in the comments. I read them. And if you had fun with this one, do me a quick favor and tap that subscribe button. We put out a brand new list every week, and you do not want to miss the next one. Alright, I'll catch you in the next video.